and look forward to seeing you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, jousting over the jab. A political brawl rages over who should get the AstraZeneca vaccine as 5 new blood clot cases are revealed.
The major cleaning blitz at Perth's COVID exposure sites ahead of a nervous wait to find out if lockdown will lift.
Calls for the coward's collar, the push to turn heartache into hope for change.
History made, West Australians given the right to legally end their own suffering.
Sex assault convictions sensationally overturned. Cosby walks free.
And the Dockers finally find a temporary home as the AFL scrambles to rejig the fixture.
Live from Perth, 7 News with Rick Ardon and Susannah Carr.
Good evening and welcome to 7 News. Perth and Peel are tonight anxiously hoping no new COVID cases are recorded so lockdown can end tomorrow night.
There was good news on our third day of the COVID crusher. WA recorded no new local COVID infections, but the Premier says the next 24 hours will be crucial to the government setting us free again.
Tonight, a death and up to 5 new blood clot cases are being linked to the AstraZeneca vaccine as a political brawl engulfs the nation's immunisation program.
Jousting over the jab, but agreeing on one thing.
We just follow the health advice. Take your advice from your GP.
The ATAGI advice has not changed. The medical advice has not changed.
That advice from the federal government's expert health panel interpreted by ministers as supporting AstraZeneca for under 40s and by premiers as doing the opposite. But today, the definitive interpretation from ATAGI itself.
I do not believe at this stage that young people should be receiving AstraZeneca.
The only exception in cases where there's a pressing need, but
they are quite small.
And perhaps about to get smaller, with the Therapeutic Goods Administration reporting another 2 definite and 3 possible cases of blood clots associated with AstraZeneca, all aged over 50, one woman dead after flying to the UK, but she had serious existing illnesses. Emboldened, but angry.
Please, can I just stop all this? This is getting absolutely silly.
Doubling down, warning under 40s shouldn't get AstraZeneca.
I am giving my advice. I'm a doctor.
In New South Wales.
The advice I've given is very much consistent with the ATAGI advice.
And WA.
Under 60s should have Pfizer.
Scott Morrison re-emerges from his own 2-week quarantine tonight for another National Cabinet meeting tomorrow, hoping he and the premiers can clear up some of the mixed messages. Views among under 40s about AstraZeneca are equally mixed.
I don't really mind. It's a matter of speed, really.
I'd be happy to get vaccinated if one's available.
I'm just happy to wait like everybody else, I think, until there's some Pfizer vaccines.
That wait's likely to be until October. The Finance Minister says Pfizer's favouring countries in the grips of big outbreaks with high death rates.
Which has put countries like New Zealand and Australia at the back of the queue.
Victims of our own success. Mark Riley, 7 News.
The Perth brewery where diners were exposed to COVID 9 days ago has today been deep cleaned. Its staff hope to reopen for business post-lockdown as Perth is urged to keep getting tested to make sure there are no hidden cases in the suburbs.
A deep clean from top to bottom, every centimetre of the Indian Ocean brewery wiped down, tables, chair legs, even menus. The case of COVID here was fleeting. The scrub down was anything but.
So you do worry a bit, yeah.
Lynn Miller was there during the exposure time. She's just received a negative result.
Yeah, full up, yeah. So I think people go, take advantage of that. And then everyone obviously went, oh, crikey, we better get tested.
This car full, waiting for a quieter day.
We had been at the end of last week. We've been isolating since it all came out, so we just gave it a couple of days.
There was a trickle of cars through the Mindari pop-up clinic today, but the number of tests remain high. Almost 16,000 swabs across Perth yesterday and no new cases. Vaccinations hit a record, more than 12,000 West Aussies jabbed in a single day.
Even if you have returned a negative result previously, if you are feeling unwell, get another test.
I got sick last night, so I just decided to come down.
We just have coughs and colds, and the GP sent me and the 2 little boys down.
This lockdown is hurting businesses. Basil's Fine Foods is usually busy during this time, but listed as a casual exposure site, he's been trading down 30%. The shop cleaned, the staff all negative.
We seem to be going over and above to what we normally have to do. Just to be a bit more understanding and be a bit patient with what we're all going through. We're all new to this as well.
The question on everyone's mind is how has such a busy venue only shown up one case? Authorities still aren't sure on the exact transmission and can only point to an unpredictable virus. What is easy to predict is the support for a popular pub who says we have a close-knit community in Mindarie and are grateful for the ongoing support we have received from our locals.
You know, the best thing is to do is support it. I mean, that's why we came out today. I mean, if they were open longer, we'd come more as well.
When it'll swing open its doors again, hanging on what's to come tomorrow.
Jacqueline Robson joins us live from Joondalup now. Jacqueline, the people getting tested tonight could well determine if we emerge from lockdown tomorrow.
They could, Rick. We've had record testing numbers all week and officials hope it'll continue over the next few days. Just a handful of cars here at the Joondalup testing clinic tonight, far from that mad rush we saw just 2 nights ago. Some people I spoke to today were at exposure sites but held off on coming down to get tested just to avoid those lengthy queues. So these numbers tonight could certainly help determine if we emerge from lockdown by the weekend. Sue?
Jacqueline, thank you. There have been no hints from the Premier on whether the lockdown will end at midnight tomorrow as Perth families wait to find out if school holiday plans will be sent into disarray. One thing we can confirm tonight is a number that may shock you: how many people have been through hotel quarantine. Some have been there 8 times. Jeff Parry reports.
Train guards with no one to guard. The City of Lights, light on for people. In Fremantle, a traffic bridge with no traffic. Whether the Cappuccino Strip can get its froth back after Friday night is unknown.
We'll be able to make an announcement on that tomorrow. I expect later tomorrow we'll be able to make a final decision on that based upon testing numbers and the outcomes overnight.
No new cases is encouraging news for small business and families with school holiday bookings. But there's no certainty what the weekend and beyond will look like. People weighing up whether or not to cancel bookings.
Well, I can't advise on that till tomorrow. I know this is very difficult and the timing of this is awful.
Another COVID positive case could throw everyone's plans into disarray. While the government grapples with the future of lockdown, the Premier is becoming increasingly agitated with the number of people who are allowed to leave the country only to return time and time again. 51,000 overseas arrivals have been through Perth hotel quarantine since the start of the pandemic. 1,300 have been in quarantine twice, 506 3 times, 82 people 4 times, 8 people 5 times, and 2 people have done 6 lots of hotel quarantine.
They must really like hotel food.
When lockdown is lifted, it's unlikely our state borders will move with it. New South Wales is still in the grip of the virus. 24 new cases there today. Half of them were in the community, defying stay-at-home orders.
A number of those cases were people who were conducting work in the last few days, some with symptoms, and we can't continue to have that happen.
Queensland recorded 2 new cases today. Victoria and South Australia, both 0 cases. Jeff Parry, 7 News.
The Premier today said a pitch to ban violent offenders from entertainment precincts was a plan worth considering after watching a call to arms from a grieving Perth widow. Enzo Racco calls it the Coward's Collar campaign. She lost her husband to a deadly coward punch attack and wants mandatory sentencing to stop thugs killing innocent victims. Our state's top cop is also listening, and the law change was discussed at a high-level meeting today.
Tiny hands on a tombstone. Little Valentina visits her father. She still can't understand why he hasn't come home.
We visit the cemetery every week and take flowers to Pep. Valentina misses him. She talks about him every day.
Giuseppe Racco, a father of 2, killed by one cowardly punch.
My husband was killed in an unprovoked attack, and now my daughters don't have their father.
In a Flashpoint special last night, his widow, father and friends shared their grief and their resolve for change.
The last thing he said to me when he walked me out the door, he said, "Thank you, Papa." That's what he said.
Pep was the PR manager at Paramount's nightclub. On July 4 last year, at a kebab shop while on break, he was punched in the back of the head by Jalen Dimer. Co-worker Tristan tried to resuscitate his friend.
Have you crossed the road? No, I haven't. It's been almost a year now, and I just can't do it.
Pep never woke up.
I was touching his face, and I said, "Pep, sorry I didn't look after you." Yep.
Lying in Royal Perth Hospital, surrounded by the family he loved more than anything, his life support was switched off.
And I remember saying to her when it was getting close, can we just, push it out a little bit longer? And she goes, why, So, because she said, we have to turn it off.
Pep's killer pleaded guilty.
He got 7.5 years, but he could be out in 5 with parole.
Giuseppe's death, senseless, but maybe not meaningless.
The Director of Public Prosecutions is going to appeal this penalty.
But that's not all. The Racco family have launched a race for change. The Coward's Collar campaign, a minimum 10-year jail sentence for violent one-punch attacks that end in death. And the Collar, a 5-year ban on released offenders entering entertainment precincts and public events like AFL matches and concerts.
In terms of bans from entertainment precincts, I think that's an idea worth considering.
As the show was broadcast, people raced to sign the petition. 10,000 signatures in an hour, 17,000 by this morning. The numbers still rising tonight. The comments opened old wounds for some. From one man, "I've been involved in an unprovoked attack before, and I'm very lucky, as I could have ended up like Pep. Enough is enough. The law needs to be changed." And another, "I'm signing because it happened to me as a young bloke, and the people who throw these punches are gutless cowards who deserve severe penalties." From Facebook, "I watched this last night with a lump in my throat and tears in my eyes. Such a senseless loss. Tougher penalties needed. Signed. 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 My prayers are for you, Enza, and your beautiful girls. Signed."
The idea of Coward's Collar is that there needs to be some kind of mandatory sentencing for behaviour like that.
The Police Commissioner is listening.
I have just been in a briefing with the Minister for Police. We in fact discussed that particular case.
From heartache comes hope for change. Pep's family today say they've been overwhelmed by the love and support they've received from people across Perth. People who also believe even one more one-punch death is one too many. Joey Catanzaro, 7 News.
A terrifying morning. Supermarket Rampage had customers and staff in tears this morning. Ben Downey is outside the Coles in Ellenbrook. Ben, what happened?
So a man in his 30s made his way into the Coles through a rear entrance intending to threaten staff and shoppers. Police say he was armed with a knife as he made his way through the aisles issuing those threats. Now, one of the staff members, they suffered minor injuries but escaped serious danger after the man pushed her over. Witnesses say they heard the man screaming at people to get out of the store. It was evacuated shortly after, then officers swooped. Terrified employees were seen hugging and comforting each other outside. Officers were able to arrest the man nearby outside before anyone was seriously injured. If you saw what happened, call Crime Stoppers. Rick?
Thanks, Ben. Comedian Bill Cosby is waking up at home in Philadelphia a free man after an appeal court sensationally overturned his sexual assault conviction. It ruled prosecutors violated a deal made with the former star, a legal victory that's left his accusers horrified.
Sealing his freedom with a V for victory, Bill Cosby's first fragile steps on the outside. Frail and unsteady, the 83-year-old propped up by lawyers fronting the cameras and supporters.
Love you, Mr. Cosby!
The leaving questions to the team that secured his shock early release.
Mr. Cosby, how does it feel to be home?
He is extremely happy to be home. He looks forward to reuniting with his wife.
His record wiped clean, all sexual assault convictions thrown out. Cosby later telling a radio station,
"This is for all the people who have been imprisoned wrongfully."
But the decision that saw Cosby freed after just 2 years of a maximum 10-year sentence made no claims to his innocence. Instead, it was a legal technicality. The court ruling it had identified a due process violation. A prosecutor vowed Cosby wouldn't face criminal charges if he gave evidence in a civil case. That promise later broken.
We always thought that eventually this is where it would end up.
Not so his accusers. Dozens publicly claimed Cosby had sexually assaulted them at the peak of his fame and power.
She's sitting there blaming me.
But in 2018, it was Andrea Constance's allegations she was drugged and molested by Cosby that were upheld in court. Her fear now, this legal backflip will discourage those who seek justice for sexual assault in the criminal justice system from reporting. And she's not alone.
I'm outraged. I'm infuriated. It's a slap in the face. It's an insult.
Still, this decision won't be appealed. Cosby can't be retried on his original charges, meaning America's dad is now back at home for good. In the United States, David Woywood, 7 News.
It's a game that moved 4 times in 48 hours, but finally has a home. The Fremantle Dockers will help recreate history on Saturday night when they play Carlton at the MCG. It'll be the first time in 35 years the iconic ground has hosted a double-header, another bizarre twist in footy's fixture chaos.
It's not quite the VFL, but it's pretty close. All 18 teams training and living temporarily in Victoria. In a complete reversal of last season, Melbourne is now the centre of the footy universe.
The Victorian clubs last year went away, and this year we're at home.
Hopefully it all settles pretty quickly and we don't finish the year like this.
After 48 hours of trying, Fremantle's clash with Carlton finally found a home. The Dockers have been playing musical stadiums this week. A game originally set for Optus Stadium was then headed for Launceston in Tassie. Once that was ruled out, Geelong was ready to host the game. Finally, at the last minute, the MCG became an option and Freo jumped at the chance.
We don't really get to play there too often, so for our player group to get to play there again this year, it's where finals footy's played, and we want to be a finals football team, which is exciting for the group to have that chance.
It'll be part of an MCG double-header, the first time the ground has hosted 2 games on the same day since 1986.
It's a goal!
Cleaners will frantically sanitise the ground in the 2-hour gap between fixtures. The Eagles are attacking this hub with a smile after last year's shaky start.
Learned some lessons from the past experiences, but you know, this adventure is a little bit different. You know, there's a bit more freedom around town as well. So we're not locked into the hotel for an extended period of time. We can get out and about. So it's really not that bad, to be honest.
Ryan Daniels, 7 News.
Samantha Jolly joins us now with an early look at the weather.
And it's official, we had a very cold June, Sam.
So we've actually just said goodbye to Perth's second coldest June on record, the coldest June for 26 years. All those 1, 2 and 3 degree nights really added up. But it is a new month and we've kicked off July with overnight showers and a top of 19.5 degrees. And here's what we can typically expect for July. It is on average our coldest and wettest month of the year. The average maximum temperature is 18.5 degrees. Overnight, it usually drops to 7.9. As far as rainfall, the average for July is 142 millimetres and we typically get 6 hours of sunshine a day. So the cold front that gave us our early morning showers has now moved on, but we do have not 1 but 2 storm fronts coming. I'll explain how it's going to impact our weekend a bit later.
Thanks, Sam. July 1 has become a historic legal day in WA.
Terminal patients can now choose the way they die. Next, the 9-day process explained as voluntary assisted dying becomes legal.
Also, the hotline for FIFO workers after on-site shame.
The warning from China on a milestone political anniversary.
Coming up in sport at 6:45, Nat 5, good to go for the Dockers, and a champion cat back in the waffle.
Plus, live to London as Harry prepares to reunite with William to honour their mother on what would have been her 60th birthday.
Sunday.
This could be the moment you meet your husband.
I do want to meet my future wife. To have a family, to have kids. I've never met anyone like Alana before.
I love fishing.
Have I caught you yet? She scares me a little bit, I won't lie.
I have a little crush, but it is clear that him and Mackenzie are quite close. When he looks at me and smiles, I thought I'd get a little bit giddy.
New Farmer Wants a Wife. Starts Sunday at 7 on 7.
Hi, I'm Andrea, and I have something to share. My daughter Madison has cerebral palsy, and I'm not just her mum, I'm her carer too. It can be challenging at times, as it is for all family and friends out there who are carers. But we're a great team, and I'll always be there for Maddie. And I know Carers WA are there for me if I need support too. So we're here to share that help is there.
For those who care.
Here at Amart Furniture, it's our mid-year clear with huge savings like up to 40% off lounges and 30% off living and dining. Sounds too good to be true. Amart Furniture. It just makes sense.
This isn't a game, laddie. Your car might not be able to repair itself, but you've got something just as powerful. Budget Direct car insurance.
Big cover without the big price. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
New Naturally Good Anti-Age with 99% naturally derived ingredients, plus 1% for stability and safety, with organic burdock extract. Visibly reduces wrinkles in 2 weeks. 100% transparency for 100% trust.
Discover better buys for the school holidays at Target with 20% off toys and crafts from these big brands, including Lego, Barbie, Fisher-Price and more. Offer ends July 14. Conditions and exclusions apply. Find more better buys in-store and online.
A warm home is a safe home. Illusion gas log fires once in a lifetime massive stock inventory reduction sale. We must sell the lot. Over $10 million of Australian-made heaters must be cleared this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 147 Belmont Avenue, Belmont.
1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. 'Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. 'Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it.
In breaking news, the State Administrative Tribunal has upheld the order to stabilise 2 controversial Subiaco buildings within weeks, but struck out 2 heritage conservation notices. Hay Street was closed in February after the buildings were deemed unstable. The owners want to demolish, while the council wants them saved. Susannah has a separate case before the tribunal to have the buildings demolished.
BHP has launched a sex assault hotline after 2 of its employees were charged with rape. The service will offer immediate and confidential support to BHP employees and contractors. The boss of BHP, Edgar Basto, says there's no place for sexual assault or harassment in his company.
Voluntary assisted dying became legal in Western Australia today. More than 100 safeguards are in place to ensure any decision to die is sound. Dozens of terminally ill people are expected to apply over the next year.
Mike Bealby was terminally ill and suffering daily when he made the decision to die.
And I wish to exonerate all other people, especially those in my family.
Margot held her husband's hand as he swallowed the poison that ended his life.
He was able to die in his own house, in his own time.
But it was illegal, so his peaceful death was disrupted by a major crime investigation. From today, the laws have changed.
Today, Western Australia's voluntary assisted dying laws come into effect.
Voluntary assisted dying is not a choice between life and death. It is a choice
for those who are going to die.
Only West Australian residents over 18 with a terminal condition but full capacity can make the choice. There are more than 100 safeguards in place to ensure every decision is sound, and once it starts, there are 10 steps in the process that takes at least 9 days.
The Voluntary Assisted Dying Board will be tasked with the crucial role of making sure the laws are used as they were intended.
So far, 96 medical practitioners have expressed interest in administering VAD, but only 8 have finished the training. While the government expects that number to grow over the coming weeks and months, some advocates are worried the new laws are too conservative.
What's made it more difficult, we fear, is that the Health Department has introduced some extra requirements.
The laws are just weeks too late for Howard Sattler. He died last month after a painful battle with a neurological disease. To him, the fight was bigger than just him. It's for all who want to die with dignity at a time and place of our choosing. From today, that is finally possible. Cyan Doherty, 7 News.
China's president has used the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party to send a warning to the world. Cheered on by tens of thousands in Tiananmen Square, Xi Jinping said a wall of steel would confront any country that tried to bully Beijing. The 68-year-old says China wouldn't be preached to by foreign influence, and growing his military forces was a clear priority.
The feuding royal brothers William and Harry will unite in the coming hours in memory of their mother on what would have been Diana's 60th birthday. Europe Bureau Chief Hugh Whitfeld is at Kensington Palace tonight, and Hugh, a statue of the late princess will be unveiled there.
Rick, it's been 4 years in the making. This date hard to avoid, but it does come at an uncomfortable time for the two dukes. Prince Harry is now out of self-isolation here in the UK and has surprised some children in London attending a charity awards ceremony ahead of a scaled-down event here at his childhood home. The statue will be unveiled in the palace's sunken garden, one of Diana's favourite places. The garden has been given a makeover with 4,000 flowers planted, including 100 forget-me-nots, the late princess's favourite flower. The brothers are expected to be joined by Diana's siblings ahead of a private meeting, a chance for them to thrash out whatever it is that's driving them apart. Sue?
Hugh, thank you. There's been a tragedy that took hours to discover on a busy Perth road. That's next.
Also jailed. The punishment for a Mandurah fire attack.
Pfizer demand when new supplies are heading our way. Your questions answered.
Harsh borders. One woman's dash to see her dying dad as another misses out, stuck in quarantine.
The latest court blow for Britney Spears.
And virus hotspots at the click of a button. How to access the COVID contact maps.
It's that moment of anticipation.
Take your mark.
Suddenly, all the volume goes up, and then I exhale. It's been a wild journey. Swimming's the first great love of my life.
Huge moment for the sisters. What a swim! What a performance! And a world record! As good as we've ever seen!
The Olympic Games in Tokyo. Take your marks, Australia.
Your skin protects you from everything life throws at you. But what protects the skin that's protecting you? Healthy skin starts with Cetaphil. Cetaphil Moisturising Cream's unique hydrating formulation doubles skin's moisture in just 2 days. And Cetaphil Face with hyaluronic acid helps protect the health of sensitive skin with gentle, effective daily care. Now your skin can be healthy skin. Healthy skin starts with Cetaphil.
Codral provides trusted relief at every stage of your cough, cold and flu journey. Codral's day and night tablets help relieve symptoms of cold and flu to help you power through your day and get a restful night's sleep. Also try new Codral Mucus Cough Liquid for fast cough relief and Codral Actor Relief lozenges to rapidly numb and soothe your throat. Right now at Terry White Chemmart, Codral Day and Night is just $9.69. Codral and Terry White Chemmart. Now that's real chemistry.
The way we use energy is changing, so we're evolving the network, using renewable energy solutions like community batteries to store excess solar power and keep communities connected. Western Power, powering our lives.
Bigger is better with Super Boost from Tab Touch. Get Super Boosted odds on every Australian thoroughbred race this Saturday. Tab Touch. Better your bet. Gamble responsibly.
Oh, it's a little small. See that cloudy eye and droopy fins? Probably not. But John West does, making this one a definite no. It's what John West rejects that makes John West the best.
Light and Easy partners with home care package providers so older Australians can have affordable access to healthy, delicious meals. Home care package recipients could even save 70% off the cost. For more information, call 13 15 12.
Introducing the Aquatechnics groundbreaking Graphene Nanotech pool. Graphene is 200 times stronger than steel and now part of your Aquatechnics pool, giving you our strongest pool ever. Our promise to you, there simply is no better swimming pool.
A meth addict who was posing as a bikie when he set a man on fire has been sentenced to more than a decade behind bars. His victim remarkably survived the 3 hours of torture that's left him physically and mentally scarred. And a warning, some of the pictures in Cassidy Mosconi's report are confronting.
This was Brodie McDougall in the days after he was set on fire and left to burn. More bandages than body and lucky to be alive. The 24-year-old suffered through 3 hours of brutal torture at the hands of Callan Murray. The meth addict and wannabe bikie was today sentenced to 10.5 years behind bars.
It is what it is. I'm glad they're going away for a while.
In a Mandurah shed turned torture chamber, Brodie was punched, beaten with a metal baseball bat and burned with a blowtorch before being doused in petrol and ignited in September 2019. The court heard both Murray and his girlfriend, Emily Whitfield, videoed his suffering, offering him a shower and drugs but no help after Brodie finally extinguished the flames. Prosecutors called the attack some kind of bizarre gang fantasy and told the court Brodie McDougall was given an ultimatum to be cut up and put in a suitcase, to be set on fire or have every bone in his body broken. He chose what he thought was his best chance at survival. He survived but now lives with lifelong scars, both physical and mental. Cassidy Mosconi, 7 News.
A man has been found dead in a crash hours after it happened. Police say the 27-year-old driver crashed into a tree at Ankertel Road last night. It wasn't until around 8:30 this morning a driver discovered the tragedy.
Australia's supply of Pfizer vaccines is set to double this month as the federal government tries to speed up the sluggish rollout. But GPs are hitting out at the mixed messages from health officials, who they say are fuelling confusion and COVID conspiracies.
GPs like Marianne Lancaster are fielding hundreds of calls about the vaccines. Confusion is rife.
There's been a lot of cancellations and you can see it spike. Every time there's a report, we suddenly have a whole lot of people ringing up and cancelling.
Don't take medical advice from members of parliament. Take medical and pollies. Take your advice from your GP.
Australia-wide, we're currently getting 300,000 Pfizer doses a week. That will double this month to 600,000 a week.
For those of us between 40 and 60, we are preferred. Pfizer is a preferred vaccine. That vaccine is in very limited supply at the moment.
The Pfizer vaccine is recommended for people under the age of 60. AstraZeneca is offered to people aged 60 years and over, but anyone under 40 is now able to get it once speaking with their doctor about the risks.
It has vaccinated millions and millions of people, and the side effects are minor.
There is a real but very rare risk of developing blood clots. People under 50 who have AstraZeneca have a 3 in 100,000 chance of getting a clot, and there's a 1 in 2 million risk of dying from the complication. Taking aspirin daily is 200 times more dangerous than AstraZeneca, with 1 death per 10,000 people. And for women, taking the contraceptive pill gives you a 3 in 10,000 chance of getting a clot.
I haven't had anyone yet, Melina, who said to me, oh no, I better not go on the pill in that case.
Melina Saris, 7 News.
Britney Spears will stay under the guardianship of her father despite her explosive pleas to a judge. The star appealed to the court to remove Dad Jamie as a co-conservator, alleging she's being exploited and bullied. But a judge ruled she remains, quote, substantially unable to manage financial resources or resist undue influence. The next hearing is in a fortnight, where Britney Spears could submit a formal application to terminate her father's legal oversight of her life.
A woman who returned to Australia from New York to see her dying father had her wish granted today. Dad and daughter were reunited after a hotel quarantine delay. But a second woman's story couldn't be any more different. The ending devastating.
The tale of 2 heartaches. One woman allowed to see her dying dad, another denied an exemption.
I'm just devastated. I'm devastated.
Gillian Hannah has spent 11 agonising days in a Sydney hotel.
At this stage, it doesn't look hopeful.
Desperately trying to get to her father as he lost his battle with melanoma in a Melbourne hospital. He died this afternoon.
I said what I needed to say, and, that's the last moments I get with him.
Her story remarkably similar to that of Anna Coffey, both vaccinated, both from the US, both in the same Sydney hotel. But today, Anna did get the chance to see her dad and say goodbye.
Finding out that they gave the same exemption to someone else, just, it breaks my heart.
New South Wales Health says it tries to show compassion in all cases, but is simply being overwhelmed by all of these requests, given so many people from other states are quarantining here in Sydney. Those who've been through the ordeal are now calling for a consistent national approach to end-of-life cases.
So helpful to everybody who's going through this type of tragedy if these things were just more clearly defined from the government.
Amelia Brace, 7 News.
For many Australians, fears of a financial wipeout during COVID have been proven wrong.
Next in 7 News, the investments that saw retirement savings surge.
Also, the messy explosion that, believe it or not, was planned.
Plus, the website helping you avoid virus exposure sites.
And in sport, in 10 minutes, the Dockers finally have a venue for their match against Carlton, and why Justin Langer is toning it down.
I've done something so stupid. I slept with Sienna. You have to tell Bella. I wish I didn't have to tell her the one thing that would tear us apart. Bella, something happened.
Home and Away, next up on 7.
There's a reason why Marcus Bonapelli is the favourite for the Brownlow medal and maybe the best Bulldog of all time. He's just getting the job done. He's flying. 10 games in a row. He's 25 possessions or more. But the damage has been done with his goal scoring this year. 17 goals in his last 10 games sets him apart, and he's on track to kick the most goals for a Brownlow medalist in the last decade. That was Dustin Martin with 32. Ablett kicked 28 before that. Good luck if you're punting, and please gamble responsibly.
Golden, never a boring bite.
Suzukis are some of the best value cars in the country. So if you're looking and don't consider Suzuki, well, they're not a fool. A foolish fool. Yet if you do, congratulations. Suzuki.
Light and Easy's Jumpstart Plus combines their award-winning healthy meal delivery service with their new app to help you achieve your weight loss goals sooner.
Start the Jumpstart program. You won't regret it. It'll give you exactly what you need to reach your goals.
Jump online today.
What's going on?
eBay Tuesdays. Heaps of deals every Tuesday.
How are those reports going?
On things like noise-cancelling headphones.
We should get sushi, Carol.
This one's for all those out there growing a mullet, but are currently at that weird reverse fringe stage. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Max. No sugar, no compromise.
The Good Guys Big Deal Days are on now. Get $450 off this Samsung TV, this Hyatt washer only $495, this Hisense soundbar only $299, plus 20% off Lenovo, Acer and HP computers. Big Deal Days only at The Good Guys.
Looking for a one-stop shop for all your electrical, plumbing and grouting needs? RichTech is your trusted specialist in hot water systems, lock drains, electrical faults, bathroom regrouting and more. Book online today at richtech.com.au.
Let's get RichTech.
The Nick Scarley half-yearly clearance has been extended. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scarley half-yearly clearance, extended and must end Sunday.
Now, Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Time now for a check on the markets. Here's Network Finance Editor Gemma Acton.
Thank you. The first day of the new financial year got off to a sombre start for the ASX 200, which dropped 47 points to close at 7,266. The losses were broad-based, with all major banks and supermarkets among those falling. And you might notice a new addition to our board. From tonight, we will be tracking Bitcoin, which has been in a downwards trend since April after sharp rises in the 6 months before. Iron ore has slipped a little, but its recent price surge has added an extra $1.2 billion to WA's state government coffers in the past 3 months alone. And in another sign of labour market strength, total job vacancies across the public and private sector soared by more than 180% in the year to May.
COVID aside, it's been a fantastic financial year for anyone owning property or investments, and that includes superannuation accounts. Perth house prices have increased again this month, and super has had its second best year since records began, boosting retirement savings for almost everyone.
When the first wave of COVID-19 hit our shores, many feared their housing and retirement wealth would be washed out. But with the financial year now wrapped up, those fears have proven wide of the mark. Both Sydney and Hobart notched up annual house price growth of more than 19%, Brisbane and Adelaide around 15%, Perth 10%, and Melbourne just under 9%.
We've seen a very swift economic recovery, a tighter labour force.
But a slowdown is underway.
We're coming up against affordability constraints, so already we're seeing a bit of the heat coming out of the housing market.
Last year, shares on the ASX 200 rose 24%, helping the median balance super fund to return 17.5%, growth fund 21.5%, and capital stable fund 7.3%, underpinning the best year since 1997.
If we look back 12 months earlier with the huge amount of volatility and uncertainty, what a strong result we've seen.
Record low interest rates have also fueled the housing and share market boom. While the Reserve Bank says it still doesn't plan to hike rates before 2024, some economists now forecast rate rises to begin as soon as next year.
Over the long term, super's designed to deliver probably 5-6% per annum. It's been delivering about 8% per annum, so always be cautious.
Gemma Acton, 7 News.
There's fresh hope for those suffering chronic bowel disease. A new treatment from Pfizer called Xeljanz will soon be added to the PBS. The drug helps manage the symptoms caused by inflammatory bowel disease. More than 87,000 Australians currently live with the illness.
A giant haul of illegal fireworks has exploded in a bomb disposal truck in LA. Police were trying to detonate the 2,000-kilogram stash because it was deemed too unstable to move when the fireworks went up. 9 people were injured and there's damage to cars and buildings nearby. Baz is back now with more sport. You've got the team changes tonight, Baz.
Rick and Sue, and the venue changes. They keep coming, but it's a double dose of good news for Fremantle. Nat 5's back and it's off to the MCG to play Carlton. And why Justin Langer's been asked to take his foot off the accelerator.
He's one of Australia's most infamous serial killers.
Dubbed the Night Caller.
Even more twisted, his final confession. 2 more murders for which others had been convicted.
Such a crime spree is unprecedented.
Crime Investigation Australia, most infamous, Sunday on 7.
The way I see it, you've got 2 options in life. Settle for what you're given, or speak up for what you deserve. Kids' movies. Foxtel voice control. What will you ask for?
Maltesers Dark. They're very available now.
Light and Easy's Jumpstart Plus combines their award-winning healthy meal delivery service with their new app to help you achieve your weight loss goals sooner.
With Light and Easy, I've lost 20 kilos in the last 5 months and Hayley's lost 8 kilos.
There was just so much variety that it just made it easy.
Fast-track your weight loss success with Light and Easy's Jumpstart Plus.
Because of Light and Easy, and especially the Jumpstart program, I've lost so much weight now that it's just a lot easier at work. I'm not sore when I get home and everything's just better.
Jump online today.
Introducing the Aquatechnics groundbreaking graphene nanotech pool. Graphene is 200 times stronger than steel and now part of your Aquatechnics pool, giving you our strongest pool ever. Our promise to you, there simply is no better swimming pool.
At the Blinds Gallery Stocktake sale, save 50% on blinds, save 50% on curtains, save 50% on outdoor blinds, and save big on shutters. Save at the Blinds Gallery.
Call 137 127 the Blinds Gallery.
Ben & Jerry's Topped. Discover a delicious chocolatey fudge topping, then dig in to uncover even more with swirls of salted caramel and chocolate fudge brownies. Ben & Jerry's Topped. Layered with goodness from top to bottom.
Shop for your essentials at Harvey Norman. Just pick up the phone and talk to your local team. Or you can chat to us online, anytime. We have all the essentials you need, including fridges, washers, kitchen appliances, laptops, home office accessories and more. Shop online at any time. You can pick up from your local store using contactless click and collect. It's safe, easy and free. Or stay in the comfort of your home and take advantage of contactless delivery. Shop the essentials for your home at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
I'm your new intern.
I'm glad you also see the humour in this.
Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway in The Intern, tonight on 7. This Sport Report brought to you by KFC. Kick back, KFC delivers.
He's back. Dockers skipper Nat Fyfe has overcome that dislocated shoulder and been selected for Saturday's clash with Carlton, now at the MCG. It's a Freo home game. Mitch Croden has been omitted while Matt Taberner has a calf injury. And the Eagles have named a 26-man squad for Sunday's game with Sydney in Geelong. In come Jones, Langdon, Vardy, Witherden and Foley. Jackson Nelson has been omitted. Liam Ryan is suspended.
When Nat Fyfe leads out the Dockers at the home of footy on Saturday night, it'll be less than 4 weeks since he dislocated his right shoulder for the 3rd time.
Fyfe copped a big knock in the middle of the ground there, still down and groggy.
It'll also be the Iron Man from Freo's 199th game.
Yeah, it's an amazing achievement. Obviously, 2-time Brownlow medalist, a best and fairest winner at our club and our captain for a long period of time. So he's obviously a genuine talent across the industry and something we should all really celebrate. So looking forward to doing that next week as a club.
And while Fremantle have a chance to keep their finals hopes alive, the Eagles are desperate to avoid the tag of underachievers. Port Adelaide great Kane Corn says with the most A-grade players in the competition, West Coast should be doing better. Only one of their stars is out, Liam Ryan, suspended. But the last time they played in Geelong, it ended in disaster.
Have a massive 97-point win, the Cats over the Eagles.
Mental scars, it's pretty strong comment. Obviously we didn't play well against Geelong there a few weeks ago, but my expectation is we're going down off the back of a poor performance and we play as well as we can against a side who's above us on the ladder. So I don't care where we play, really. We need to perform well to beat Sydney, and that's our objective.
And a Cats great is back in business in the local league. 35-year-old Harry Taylor has rejoined East Fremantle after booting a mountain of goals for Northampton. He last played for the Sharks in 2007 before becoming a dual AFL Premiership player and a dual All-Australian. Adrian Barrich, 7 News.
That is terrific. The first of 8 games in Victoria this weekend is underway at Marvel Stadium, and needing a win to hold their place in the top 8, the Tigers are up against a Suns team determined to spoil the party.
Swallow, open goal square. Which way will it bounce? There's the goal they needed.
The Gold Coast booted 5 goals, 10 in the first half, to lead by 6 points at the long break. Bad kicking, but they're in front. Aaron Finch has praised Justin Langer for taking confronting criticism of his coaching on the chin. Some players have complained about his intense style, but Finch says Langer has promised to change.
We're all behind him 100%. The way that he's coached Australia in the last couple of years since he's taken over has been fantastic.
Wonder who had to tell him. The Aussies have arrived in the West Indies for 5 T20s and 3 one-dayers, and obviously a good swim in the pool. Half their luck. The Perth Wildcats will enter next season under new ownership. The Sports Entertainment Network has paid more than $8 million for the 10-time NBL champions. It's ended the long-time reign of Jack Bendat, who purchased the club in 2007.
Obviously, it's mixed emotions. Ever since I've been in the league, Jack Bendat has had a massive fingerprint on the Perth Wildcats, but not even that. I think the NBL.
SEN will now have a stake in both grand finalists from this season, with a company led by media personality Craig Hutchison already running Melbourne United. The news coincides with guard Mitch Norton signing a 3-year deal with the Wildcats. Well done, and a big thank you to Jack Bendat. Nick Kyrgios, the entertainer, was back to his best at Wimbledon overnight. Resuming at 3-3 in the 5th set, Kyrgios overcame a scary fall on slippery grass to finish off Ugo Humbert 9-7.
Just got back up and showed some resilience, come with age. Yesterday the crowd was thanking me. They're like, thank you, Nick, for keeping me so entertained. I don't really care what anyone says, I'm my own person.
That's for sure. The lush grass is causing trouble for everyone. Novak Djokovic survived, and after years of hip surgeries, Andy Murray has centre court rocking again. That is terrific to see. Well done, Andy. Well done, Rick and Sue. All yours.
Thanks,
Thank you, Baz. A map listing all the COVID exposure sites throughout the country can now be accessed online.
The website gives a detailed breakdown of each location and the distance between the various sites.
COVID danger zones, like shops, restaurants, bars and public transport. Areas we need to steer clear of from first exposure until the all clear.
When we have outbreaks happening, I think this information is important for everybody.
Keeping up with exactly where and when COVID outbreaks happen near you or interstate can be nigh impossible. Now Australian researchers have the solution. A new contact tracing tool, easily accessible maps highlighting current COVID exposure sites on your phone, PC, laptop.
Sourced from hospitals, health departments, and it brings all of that data together into one place.
These are the places that infected people have been to.
Called CRISPR, the map is interactive. You can zoom into hotspots, even specific addresses and venues, to see data and warnings on outbreaks as they happen. You can also receive alerts about your area, like during the bushfires.
It is also potentially useful for people like doctors, like GPs, to see what's happening around their clinic.
The map is updated every hour, showing locations of the latest infections. It's available from today on the web. Helen Wellings, 7 News.
Sam Jolly's got your weather next, and we have double cold fronts coming, Sam.
Just like last weekend, Rick, we will have a very wet end to the weekend and rain for the first week of school holidays. The forecast is next.
I have never seen that before.
This phone belonged to Susan McAllister.
Justin Morgan, you're under arrest.
We've both seen what he's capable of.
All it takes is a seed of doubt.
He's been violent and unpredictable.
Hey! You want me to call the police? Is that what you want?
You were right about Justin.
I'm being set up.
She's about to discover the truth. Home and Away, next up on 7.
The Nick Scarney half-yearly clearance has been extended. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scarney half-yearly clearance, extended and must end Sunday.
The new period ritual, Libra period proof undies.
At some point, we all have to choose between what the world wants you to be and who you are.
This July.
I should have come back for you. This is our chance.
We fight with you.
We do this together.
What are sisters for?
In cinemas July 8 and on Disney Plus with Premier Access July 9.
It's Toy Mania time again. Australia's favourite toy sale is here. Big smiles, big brands and bigger savings. Lay by now for Christmas, online and in-store. Big W. Every day's a big day.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Super advice is like water. It should be available on tap. At Rest, we think it's only fair to give members, like Kim, simple super advice at no extra cost.
This is a cold drink. Flavoured with raspberry, rosehip and guarana that's brewed for balance. Try new Twinings Live Well Uplift. Drink some good.
Beacon Stock Take Sale is on now with reduced prices on all stock at all Beacon lighting stores across Australia and online. Don't let these savings get away. Sale ends next Sunday.
Get the power of best buys on big brands at Tyre Power.
Purchase any 3 of the Falcon Zeek ZE914 tyres this month and get the 4th tyre free.
Get the power. Tyre Power. Get the power of Australia's biggest independent.
What is a big deal on gas these days? Savings are important, and we do them. But we reckon a gas deal also needs to do good. A big deal to us is giving back to our local WA communities. Through our community program, we support many local causes, which are helping disadvantaged West Aussies, the environment, and much more.
Thank you.
For a big deal, make it a local call.
This weather report brought to you by Alinta Energy.
Hello again. After the early morning showers cleared, we had a partly cloudy top of 19.5 degrees for the 1st of July. Right now it is 14.5 and the winds are calm. Around the metro area, between 0.5 millimetre to 3 millimetres of rain across the suburbs overnight, and some coastal and southern suburbs had drizzle during the day. Top temperatures today range from 16 to 19 degrees. A weak cold front brushed the south coast overnight, giving us those showers in the metro area up to 10 millimetres for our southwest. But we do have a stronger winter front on the the way Sunday, then another one on Monday. Interstate cold and cloudy in Hobart tomorrow. Showers with a top of 13 for Adelaide, and we're looking at rain for Brisbane. For WA tomorrow, warm and sunny for the top half of the state. A shower or two for our southwest tomorrow. And on local waters, east to northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, turning northerly in the late morning and the early afternoon. The swell southwesterly up to 2.5 metres. So we have a chilly low of 7 tonight before a partly cloudy top of 20 tomorrow. There is a slight chance of showers for southwestern suburbs. For our weekend, cold Saturday morning, 6 the low, and a mostly sunny top of 21. Then a cold front will hit on Sunday. We could get up to 20 millimetres of rain and a storm, most likely in the afternoon. And then another cold front delivers wet and windy conditions on Monday and wet again for Tuesday and Wednesday. And happy 60th wedding anniversary to Robert and Heather Moorhead from Mandurah. They have 4 children, 11 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren with 2 more on the way. Congratulations. And now for the full draw of tonight's $60 million Powerball jackpot.
Good evening, Kimberly Bustede here, and welcome to tonight's Powerball draw number 1311. Here with me are our draw officials and government supervisor. If you won Division 1 in Powerball, you could do almost anything. The total Division 1 prize pool, if won tonight, is $60 million. And to win tonight's Division 1 prize, you'll need to match all 7 winning numbers plus the Powerball. Well, to win tonight, you'll need number 13, and the next lucky number coming out of the barrel, that is number 19. Now, last week we had 3 lucky Division 2 winners who each took home over $211,000. Congratulations to our very lucky winners. Tonight, to win, you'll also need number 18 and number 17. Now, if there is no Division 1 winner tonight, the Powerball prize pool will jackpot to $80 million in next week's draw, so make sure you grab your Powerball ticket each week. Again, tonight, to be our winner, you'll need number 11, and the next number that has dropped, that is number 16, and of course, the next number that is about to come out of the barrel, is it your number? Lucky number 20. Now on to the all-important Powerball. While we wait, let's recap tonight's winning numbers. We have 13, 19, 18, 17, 11, 16, 20, and of course the Powerball tonight, that was number 15. Well, I certainly hope they were your winning numbers. You can also check your entry in-store, online or via the app. Congratulations and good night.
And that's 7 News for this Thursday. Thanks for your company.
I'll be back with updates throughout the evening, and for the latest stories, head to 7news.com.au. Enjoy the rest of your night here on 7.